Melissa, I want a divorce.
Huh? What's wrong with you, Ben? What are you talking about? You're gone for 3 days and then you finally contact me. And that's what you say?
I was racking my brain over this the whole time. I had to be true to myself, but then again, if I say it, there is no turning back. But I finally made up my mind, and before I lose confidence in myself again, I decided to come right out and say it.
Oh, yeah. So why? What's the reason for this sudden life-altering decision?
Yeah. Well, there's this girl. And I kind of like her. No, I love her and I want to marry her, so her name is...
Tammy, right?
Huh? Why did you...
You're really dense, aren't you? I knew a long time ago that you and my little sister Tammy were sneaking around behind my back. I wanted definite proof, so I even hired a private investigator to check you guys out.
Huh? But how? Where did we screw up?
Actually, it was pretty easy. Tammy wasn't really discreet about the relationship. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she wanted me to find out.
You're not serious.
She would upload photos to Instagram, sort of hinting at the relationship. You should check it out for yourself.
Hinting? What do you mean? I saw those photos. There is nothing outrageous.
Look a little closer. There are little messages in there. There's one where you turn it upside down and it reads, "I love Ben." Just the other day, she uploaded a photo with the caption, "Dinner with my boo," and I could see her reflection in the wine glass.
Holy crap! Are you serious?
Like I said, I hired a private investigator to check you guys out and to collect all the evidence. I'll give you that divorce, but you will pay for it. Literally.
Pay for it? You mean pay compensation?
Bingo! If you were racking your brains to finally come to a decision, you must have thought about that.
But Tammy said, you being her sister, she was sure that you would not go that far. They wouldn't demand compensation.
Sorry to disappoint you, Ben. Reality is a bitch. My lawyer will draw up papers for the compensation demand. It makes no difference if you're family or not. You have to face up to the consequences. You're living at Tammy's place now, right? I probably won't get much out of you with your meager salary. But my lawyer will be visiting you, so I suggest you take his advice. Or this thing will go to court and it will just cost you more time and money, and less time with your beloved Tammy. I urge you to do the right thing.
Hey sis, how are ya? Did you get a call from Ben yesterday? You knew about the divorce. Shocker, huh? So, did you think about it? When did you decide this is gonna happen? Sooner the better.
You're being a bit hasty, don't you think? You can't make a decision about these things in a day or two. It's more complicated than that.
All you have to do is sign the divorce papers and submit them. That's it, right? What's so hard about that? Doesn't seem too complicated to me. You're just dragging your heels. You don't want this divorce. He doesn't love you anymore. Just give it up for God's sake.
Am I experiencing deja vu? A repeat of yesterday?
What are you talking about?
Compensation.
Huh?
You guys are planning to blow everything open one of these days anyway. I'm sure you thought about compensation. That's what a husband usually does when he cheats on his wife.
Oh, come on, Melissa. Are you serious? You're going to demand money from your own sister?
Reality is a bitch. Sister or ex-husband, demanding compensation in such matters, it makes not difference at all.
Am I hearing you right? I'm your own flesh and blood, for God's sake.
You guys went behind my back and had an affair. Legally, you're obligated to pay up. Family or otherwise, life's a bitch.
Yeah, you already said that. All right. Ben will probably work things out anyway. Have it your way.
My lawyer will be visiting you guys soon, so I will expect full compensation for stealing my husband away from me.
Hey sis, Tammy here. Hey, the compensation was deposited into your bank account already, right?
Yeah, I confirmed it yesterday, so I submitted the divorce papers right after that.
Great, thanks for that. You know what? We already submitted our marriage registration at City Hall today.
Wow, that was fast.
Not fast enough. I wanted to be Ben's wife for so long, and that day has finally come. I'm ecstatic. Boy, oh boy, you don't know how happy I am. This is a dream come true for me.
I'm actually grateful. There was no need to take this to court. That would have been a complete hassle, to be honest.
Huh? Court? What are you talking about?
Nothing that complicated. Actually, I was thinking of divorcing Ben way before you guys started seeing each other. But if he refused when we had to go to court, it would have taken time and money. It would have been one big hassle. But just my luck, you guys started to see each other behind my back, and eventually Ben came to me begging for a divorce. Man, what a stroke of luck.
Oh, really? Actually, you sound more like a sore loser to me.
Can I ask you something, Tammy?
What? I'm actually feeling great now, so yeah, ask away.
What was so great about Ben? What was it that attracted you to him? Seriously, I really want to know.
Huh? Well, it was...
It may seem kind of strange for me to say. After all, I was married to him, but seeing all your past boyfriends, Ben just didn't seem the type that you would be attracted to.
Oh my god, Melissa, never thought I'd see the day that you'd be so totally defeated.
Defeated?
I mean, you make him sound so disagreeable. He's actually a really cool guy. Very reliable if you get my meaning. You're like a dog with its tail between its legs, scampering away.
Okay, I see. Well, I got what I wanted, so I have no complaints. All that's left is for him to gather up his things here and move out. Then we are completely done.
Huh? Hold on a second, Melissa. It's you that has to gather up your things.
Huh? Now why would I do that?
Come on, sis. That house. Ben bought that house, right? It's in his name, right? The house is way too big for you alone. A nice little 5-bedroom house with a garden and a patio. What I've always wanted. I plan to have Mom and Dad live there with us, so we're getting ready to move in, so I would appreciate that you move out as soon as possible. As you know, Mom and Dad don't get along with you, so no way we can all live together. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, Mom and Dad have always been on your side. I hated that environment growing up, and that's why I left home after graduating from high school.
Yeah, so you're aware of the situation, so I need you out of that house as soon as possible.
But you're forgetting one important fact. This house, it belongs to a friend of mine, a married couple I'm very friendly with.
Huh? What the hell are you blabbering on about?
My friends are currently stationed overseas. They are stationed over there for 3 years, so they asked me to look after their home until they return. But they're scheduled to return in 2 weeks, so I'm currently getting ready to move out.
Hold it a sec. Wait, what?
When Ben and I got married 2 years ago, he was well aware of the fact.
You're kidding me!
Hey, Melissa. Please pick up. Let's get back together. Please. I told Tammy and her parents that my part-time job paid $1,200 a month. They almost crucified me.
Wow, I saw it coming, but that was fast.
They all thought I was a full-time worker at that office. And at that house that your friend owns. They thought it was mine. That I inherited or something. I don't know where the hell they got that idea. That house is huge. They figured I must have a good paying job to be able to afford such a house.
Boy, you really haven't changed.
This isn't funny! What am I going to do? After that, they made me sign the divorce papers and kicked me out of the house. I'm sitting in the park by the school now. What am I going to do? Could you come pick me up? Please, Melissa. I have no one to turn to.
The park by the school? That's right near where my folks and Tammy live. No way I'm going down there. I really don't want to be anywhere near them.
My folks live really far away. Besides, after I said I was going to divorce you, they cut ties with me. They said they never want to see me again. I have nowhere to go. I'm going to have to sleep right here in this park.
There's a Days Inn down the block. Get a room there.
I would, but I have no money.
Huh?
I quit my part-time job yesterday.
Wait a sec. You quit? Why'd you go and do that?
Well, Tammy said we would be living with her parents once we got married, so I figured she meant she wanted me to live with her folks at their home. If I was to live at their house, well, it takes more than an hour to my job, so I thought I would look for a job closer by. But they were getting all packed and ready to go to that house, the one your friend owns. They told me that the house they were living in was only a rental, and they terminated the lease on both the house and Tammy's apartment today.
Okay, let me get this straight. You thought you were going to live with them, and they thought they were going to live with you. Got your wires all crossed. Now you guys have nowhere to live. That about right?
I paid your compensation as the lawyer instructed. Otherwise, it would go to court, and I don't have any money to hire a lawyer. How did I even get myself into this mess? The only option I have left is to get back together with you.
You're not serious. Not on your life.
Huh? But I have nothing.
Now that it's all come to this, ever since the company you worked for went bankrupt, you've been content with that part-time job, not bothering to look for a real job. My take-home pay was way better than yours. You treated me as if I was your ATM machine. Always asking for handouts. I was getting sick and tired of it. I wanted to divorce you even before I found out you were cheating on me.
Please, give me another chance. I'll look for a full-time job right away, so please help me out here.
A little late for that, don't you think? I never want to see you again. See ya!
Please, Melissa, don't abandon me. I'm sorry.
Melissa, you there? You said you were moving out of that house. Where are you going? Give me the address, right away.
Excuse me? I have no reason to tell you. Why would I even tell you guys?
If you don't tell us, what are we supposed to do? Sleep in the park?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I really have to go.
We were planning on living in that house. We already terminated our lease on the house and I moved out of my apartment last week. So we have nowhere to go. So, the only place we have left is to live at your new place. So come on, give me your address.
That's not going to happen.
Huh? Why is that? I can't believe you. Your family's in trouble and you're not going to give us a helping hand? You're cruel.
You really think I'm going to help a sister who stole my husband and my so-called parents who encouraged her? Who in their right mind would help people like you? Family or otherwise. Anyway, we cut all family ties, right? You people mean nothing to me.
Okay, then I will reinstate you as a family member. How's that? We could be one big family again. So tell us where you're moving to.
Sorry, but I would rather you not reinstate me. I have no intention of being part of this so-called one big family.
Huh? But...
Besides, the place I'm moving to is my company dormitory. I can't have strangers sleeping over.
Huh? A company dorm?
Yeah, it's a woman's only dorm. There are strict rules, especially regarding unauthorized people living there. There's a custodian in the lobby that checks employee IDs.
What? When did all this happen? Why you? Why do you get special treatment? What about us?
What's the problem? Just find another place to live. Lease a house or get an apartment somewhere. Maybe you can get Dad to ask his company. I'm sure they have employee apartments, temporarily even. He should get advice from his company. I'm sure they'll help him out somehow. Mine did.
Dad quit his job last month.
Excuse me?
He thought Ben was making loads of money, so he figured Ben would support him and we could live in that big house. He didn't think it was necessary to work anymore, so he retired early. He got a paltry retirement pay, but after paying you, well, there was not much left.
My God, you guys really screwed things up.
What am I gonna do, Melissa? Please help us out. It's the least you can do.
Please, don't come begging to me for help.
Huh?
I will say this one last time. I have no intention of continuing any family relationship with a sister who stole my husband and parents who backed her up. I have no family. Simple as that.
Come on, please, Melissa. We're family. Don't abandon us.
After that conversation, I thought that was the end of it, but the next day, my sister and my parents came barging into my office demanding to see me. Fortunately, I was not there. I retired from that company years ago. That was my old place of employment, but they still accused the receptionist of lying and insisted that she bring me out. They continued in this vein for hours until the police were eventually called. A relative was finally located and had to come to the police station to bail them out. They reluctantly returned to this relative's small farmhouse in the countryside. The relative's house is quite a distance away, so I will probably never see them again. As for Ben, he talked his way into a friend's place for a few nights, which apparently turned into a few weeks. On top of that, his friend borrowed money in his name and, one day, just up and disappeared, leaving him holding the bag. Well, he ended up being in debt to some scary people. I hear he's working his butt off at one of their warehouses somewhere. Not a very promising environment to be in. I would hate to be in his shoes. He's still young. Maybe he'll make it out alive.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Jenny, you have stayed inside your house for a long time recently, haven't you?
Good morning, Patty. Recently, my company has been pushing for us to work from home, and so for a while now I've been working from within our office in the house. However, I'm still going into the office a few times every month for meetings and special projects.
Is that so? So the company you're working for has started to implement a system such as that for all its employees? Well, if that's the case, then you get out of my son's house right now.
Huh?
And by saying that, of course what I mean by that is I want you to divorce my son and leave.
How does me working remotely for my job happen to lead into you wanting me to leave your son?
Well, Jenny, the way that leads into you leaving my son is that I know about how you use that excuse of working remotely as a way to never get any of the chores there done.
Well, the only thing that's changed is that I'm working from my office here at home, but everything besides that has been the same since I've been married to your son.
And I bet the only reason they're having you work from home now is because they have no further use for you, and it'll only be a matter of time before they fire you, right? I mean, I don't blame them considering you were raised in a foster home all your life. How could a parentless child like you amount to anything in that company?
Patty, I think it's better that you refrain from talking about me like that from now on.
Excuse me?
I'm sure that there are people who were raised in foster homes that had a hard time living in this world after being forced out into society. But there are also people like my older friend that I grew up with in that foster home who is now the CEO of a $15 million company. And I also have friends from that foster home who are not lawyers and doctors. And most of them even have a happy family now, with a loving wife or husband and children around them. So please stop trying to say that all foster kids have ended up troubled and without any use to this world.
Right now, I'm not talking about all those other idiots. I'm talking about you, Jenny, and how within the company you are working for, you are the least dependable and will soon be fired because of it. And unfortunately, you found some way to get my son to marry you, and he's now stuck with someone who slacks off from their most important duties. I'm sure that you only married him for his family's money, right? I really would love to have you divorced from him sooner rather than later.
I'd like to get back to my work here soon, so...
But I'll have to wait a little longer for that, I'm sure. At least do this one thing for me by the end of today. That's leaving my son's house. And then from there, I'd like you to start working on divorcing him and being gone from his life forever. My son is my only boy in the family, and I need to make sure that he marries someone far more amazing than you. So, you need to get lost soon.
I'm getting back to work. Goodbye.
Jenny, are you home right now? You should be home working all day today, right?
Oh, I'm still at home getting some work done, George. But I'm on a small lunch break now, so we can chat for a little while.
Is that so? Well, I wanted to ask, if I came back home now, would I be bothering you while you work?
What's happened? Do you have to leave work early? Did you come down with something today that's forcing you to leave work?
Wait, this isn't about me coming down with anything today. My manager came up to me today saying that I haven't been using a lot of my time off this year and that it would benefit both me and the company to use it up before the next year begins. And since starting next week, I have more projects that I need to start, we both agreed that today I could use the afternoon off, fully paid, to head home early and use up the time off. I'll be getting tomorrow off as well, fully paid.
Is that so? Well, I'm fine with you coming home now, so don't worry about me and get your butt home.
All right, thank you.
What do you want to do about lunch?
I was just thinking that I'd buy something on the way home to eat. I'd like you to continue working on your work without having to get up to make me anything.
All right.
By the way, did my mom end up saying anything to you today?
Huh?
I'm talking about how she always seems to pick on you.
Right. Today she seemed to be in even more of a fighting mood than times before.
She really never seems to care enough when I tell her to stop messing with you, and that was probably getting in the way of you getting work done. I'm sorry, Jenny. She has to realize that what she's doing to you is not acceptable, right?
You don't have to apologize for her actions. And besides, I'm doing all right after our little chat today.
But even still, it's getting close to 3 months now. There's no denying that she's causing you a lot of stress by messing with you all the time, and that it's only getting worse as time goes on, right?
I'm fine. Well, that's what I'd like to say, but really, her treating me so poorly has started to cause some issues with me and my job.
At this point, we've really got to start thinking of a way to get her out of your hair for good. My bus is here. When I get home today, make sure to show me all the texts my mom sent to you.
Sure, will do.
If I'm able to change transfer buses quick enough at the station, I should be home in about an hour.
Okay. Have a safe return home today.
I'll do my best. See you this afternoon then.
You freaking useless dog. I just passed by your house a couple of seconds ago, and I saw that you're still sitting in there on your computer. I could have sworn that I told you earlier today to get the hell out of that house, right?
I'm in the middle of work right now.
Your company is getting ready to fire you, so you have no reason to talk to me about getting any actual work done. And I know for a fact that you're only using that title of being a remote worker as a way to slack off. Seriously, you are a freaking waste of my son's time. Not only do you have zero common sense, but you can't even do your job well enough to stay within that mediocre company. George has been saying to me that I need to treat you with the respect he thinks you deserve, but I'm not buying it. All you've done is brainwashed him into thinking that you're worth something, and that's how you got him to marry you. Well, it's not going to happen any longer. Divorce my son right now.
Patty, I've noticed you always happen to text me around this time every weekday, right?
And so what?
Could this mean that you choose to talk to me only during this time every day because you expect that your son is at work and can't do anything to stop you?
Well, you might be onto something there. Actually, you are 100% correct about that. But this is all for the sake of my son. I have to protect him from you, and that means waiting for him to be busy with his work to start my plans of attack and making sure you go away. Having to think that such a useless dog is my son's wife. I am not the kind of mother that is going to let you continue taking advantage of my son, all in order to get my family's money.
Are you finished saying everything you've wanted to tell me?
Oh, I have so much more that I'd like to say to you. I'm going to keep tearing into you until you leave my son and run away from me.
So you're going to continue with this even though your son is sitting right next to me now?
Huh?
This all happened just a little bit ago, but he was allowed to take the rest of today and tomorrow off from work, and he only arrived home just a few minutes ago.
So you're telling me that George is there with you right now?
Yep.
And he's sitting with you looking at all the things I've said to you?
Yep. And I really need to end things here so that I can get back to my work. So from now on, you're going to have to go through him if you have anything else to say to me today. Now I'll be going.
Well, if that's the case, then that's completely fine with me. Really, I didn't want for him to have to see everything I'd said to you today. But if he's seen everything already, then that makes my job of explaining things to him a whole lot smoother.
Mom?
George, come on now. If you were finally going to take the chance to get a day off work, you should have come back home to me to hang out for a little while. I'm sure that it's pretty boring having to hang around that house all day with a useless dog like her, right? That's right. How about tonight you and I go out for some steaks? And I'll make sure to get us a reservation at one of those high-end steakhouses. It's been almost 5 years now since your father passed away, so it'll be nice to have a steak again since we haven't eaten steak together since that day.
I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm not in the mood to go out for a steak tonight. I'm actually quite pissed at you.
Huh?
Stop trying to act like what you've been doing is okay.
George, what's happened to you?
When did I ever say that I wanted to get a divorce from Jenny? And the fact that you've been speaking so poorly of your own son's wife is good reason for me to want to punch you in the face right now. Do you actually think that I'd let you continue with that crap without stepping in?
What are you talking about? Come on now. Talk about what's all going on right now very carefully. You are a graduate from a very highly sought-after university, and you are on the path to becoming an elite in the working world. But unlike you, your wife right now is nothing more than a lost cause from a foster home who does nothing but work as an office lady. No matter how hard you try to make it look possible, the two of you are not meant to be married.
Mom, did we not tell you this yet? Jenny is from the same university as I am.
Huh?
And not only that, but she was able to get into that university with the full ride scholarship. And as for what she does for work right now, let's just say that the company isn't as well known as the one I'm working for, but her income is higher than mine.
Huh? That useless dog. How the hell does she... You guys can't just hide things like that from me. Especially when it's been so long since you both got married and she became a part of my family.
You can act like we were trying to hide this from me all you want, but her and I graduated in the same class, and we can show you proof that she's in fact better than me in some ways. Heck, I'd even be willing to show you our pay stubs, so you can see with your own very eyes that we aren't playing.
Are you serious? You're telling me that parentless foster child...
We have told you plenty of times before that it's not okay to judge someone just based off their past life when they were a child. If you understand everything I've told you, I'd like for you to apologize to Jenny when she's done with work today, and it better come from your heart.
Jenny, I'm assuming that you're finished with work by now?
That's right. I just finished up and turned off my computer a second ago.
I heard a lot of things from George earlier today, just after lunch. So you actually did end up graduating from university after all. And not just from any university, but from the same one as George? Why were you hiding all of that from me?
What?
All of that information would have been really helpful to me had you told me a lot sooner. Especially since without that very important piece of information, all you are is a useless foster child that is about to be fired from a company that has no use for her. I needed to know that you were a university graduate because that would have changed the way I spoke to you before.
Did I not tell you all about my education back when I first met you in person? I explained that we met each other because we went to the same university together, and that's why we're together now.
Huh? You mentioned that to me before?
Well, I can see that even if you did know about that before, somewhere along the way you got confused and started to think differently about me.
That's right. But even if you came from the same university as my son, there are still plenty of other things wrong with you. You still ended up growing up with no parents and in a foster home. So, to make up for you having that unfortunate part of your past haunting my family, I'd like for you to start paying me $1,000 every month.
$1,000?
If you are able to promise me that you'll send me $1,000 a month for the rest of my life, then I'll allow you to stay married to George.
Really?
I know about how you're making more money than my son is right now. Allow me to be frank about this. A woman that makes more than her husband is not viewed as a good thing in this world. But if I were to ask you to quit your job right now, George would keep coming after me, saying I'm bullying you or something, right? So to make it seem as though you're not making as much money as you say, I'd like you to pay me $1,000 a month, and I'll promise to leave you alone.
What?
However, in order for me to keep my end of the promise, you have to promise that you'll never tell my son about any of this deal we'll make. So if you'd like to continue to be the wife of my elite son, you listen to everything I've just said and do it. That should be okay with you, right? Pick up the dang phone, Jenny. I've noticed that you still haven't put that $1,000 into my account. And so I came all the way to your place to tell you to your face to give me that money. But why is there a lock on the door and a sign saying the place is for sale?
That's because after moving out of that house, the realtor has come to start cleaning the place up a bit more to start showcasing it to people looking into the place.
You guys moved out? Why did you move?
If you don't know what the reason is for that yet, try asking your son. Goodbye.
George, why the hell did you move out of that place? You haven't even told me the new address that you guys have.
That's because I've cut ties to you, Mom.
Huh?
Did I not tell you about a month ago to apologize to my wife when we last spoke about what you did to her? Because looking back into our text history, I did say that, and you replied to me meaning that you read that text. But for some unknown reason to me, you going to apologize to her, turning into you threatening her to pay you $1,000 a month.
Wait, did that witch talk to you about all of that? I told her to keep her mouth shut about it so as part of the deal. Her not even being able to uphold that end of the promise is why foster children like her are useless.
The reason why I know about what you said to her is because as she was texting you then, I was looking over her shoulder.
Huh?
And when she finished texting you, she turned to me and I told her that it was over. That from now on, her and I would no longer be a part of your family.
That's...
And I'll leave you with this as a warning. Trying to come and find us at our offices isn't going to be possible for you. I told my boss about the current situation, and he was kind enough to allow me to move to a different office away from you. And the same thing goes for Jenny and her job. Well, it's not like her office mattered to you though, because you never even knew where she was working in the first place, or what company she worked for.
Wait, what am I going to do now, though?
I don't care.
What?
For the past 2 years now, you've been getting Social Security, right? And you've been working part-time for a while now as well, right? There's also that money left over from Dad that you said you'd never touch after he passed away.
Well, about that last part.
So you should be all right then, right? Now, goodbye, forever.
Wait a moment, George. I quit that part-time job. And as for all that money your dad left for me, I've used it all up.
When talking about that last part, where Patty told her son that she had quit her job and was without any more money, that really surprised the both of us. Considering that after her husband passed, she should have been left with around $80,000 and still be receiving a decent Social Security. George and I just looked at each other after reading that and sighed. Apparently, she had spent all of that money without putting much thought into what to do after it was gone, besides hoping that she could rely on her son to support her. But when she found out how much I was making, decided that it'd be better to just have me pay her a little each month in return for not bullying me anymore. After both George and I had agreed that we'd cut ties with her and never see her again, we made sure to explain to all of his family before telling her. And since they all agreed that what we were doing was necessary, they told us that they'd figure out something for her since she no longer had enough money to support herself. In other words, that meant them all introducing her to a job working on a production line. So as of right now, she's out there working every day within that factory, making minimum wage that is barely enough to keep her in her house and keep all the lights on there. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.